Hey guys, happy Monday. Today we are catching back up with Bryony Keys, following our chat back in November, actually, when she qualified for the BPN in the BPN Survive the Night for one of the biggest ultra races of the year. And she's fresh off an incredible performance at that very race, the BPN Last Man Standing Ultra. And Bryony was the last female standing. What an awesome result. We want to find out more. We want to know how the training went, what race day was like, when the miles started adding up and the sleep deprivation set in. What was your mindset behind the performance? How your new nutrition business is going, Fueled Lab, and what's next after such an epic result. Welcome back, Bryony.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. My third time on.
I know, I can't believe it. I'm so I mean, time flies. I feel like we literally, you said November, but it doesn't feel like that long ago that
I
we
know.
spoke.
I
Like,
can't believe that. No, a lot's happened since November.
I
So,
I know. So, like, huge congratulations. You've gone and completed go on more the BPN Last Man Standing Ultra. First, well, last female standing. How was it? Like, kick us off. Like, how did it go?
okay. So I'll just start like the very beginning. But yeah, it went so well. But even from like my training and then that and the lead up to it. So yeah, as you mentioned, I won the 50 miler in November. Because of that, I got the golden chip into the Backyard Ultra, so the Go One More Ultra, which was on the 10th of April. So really, all my training from the 10th, from November to the 10th of April was all really focused about running and endurance. But after, and I know we touched on it in the previous podcast, that it was all a bit unknown how much run volume I could handle with my foot after the accident. So this is one thing that surprises most people. Like my highest mileage week was 110 kilometers. So I did between 100 and 110 kilometers, I think maybe for like 4 weeks, but that was my highest volume. But I do a lot of cross training, like on the bike, swimming. I'm still in the gym and things like that. But I know that is certainly one thing that surprised so many people, apparently, that was my peak run volume. Yes.
Yeah.
That
Did
is,
you
that
have
is
like
crazy.
Yeah, that like because I guess a lot of people probably would have tried to, I guess, rack up the miles. Because did you have an aim for the? Maybe you could just explain, excuse me, the last man standing format for anyone that doesn't know about that race and like what your aim was going into it for
Yeah, of
mileage.
course. So Last Man Standing is also called Backyard Ultra. You run 4.167 miles on the hour every hour. So say the loop takes you 50 minutes to do, you come back and you have 10 minutes rest before on the hour again you head back out. But obviously you can people do it faster, people do it slower, but whatever time you have left after that 4.1 miles, you have that rest period till you go again. And you literally just keep going until the last man stands. And spoiler, so I did run for 37 hours, and that was 155 miles, which is 250 kilometers. But yeah, but going on what you touched on was, did I have like a distance in mind that I wanted to run? I didn't give myself like a cap, because I've heard so many people say once you give yourself a cap, that then like just mentally you start like checking out. And I actually do think that's what's happened to me, because as soon as we'll get to it, everyone was like, you're the last woman standing. I think there probably, but this is all in hindsight, I think there might have been more in the tank, but I had like subconsciously just like checked out because everyone was like congratulating me before I even went out and did my last loop. But yeah, what got me through it is, I don't know, I think just maybe it's a Scottish thing. I just think we just crack on with things, don't we?
Yeah, you're used to it because the weather wasn't great, was it? It was like
It was hot at the beginning, and then it
And then
turned
did
into
it?
like thunderstorms again, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, that's it. So do you know it varied quite a lot. So yeah, it started off really hot, really humid. So we started at 12 noon on the Friday. Backyards always start at 12. I don't know why 12 noon.
Mm.
So it was like peak Texas heat. And the humidity most of the time, I don't even know if I've ever been in this much humidity. It was like 99 to 100% humidity. And like you felt that instantly. And then there was the odd shower the first 24 hours. But then after, yeah, I think it was probably from about hour 28, it started raining. And then the mud is what killed most people off because it was so clay-like. I've never ran in anything or experienced anything like that. And it just stuck to your trainers. I had like, I don't know, an inch and a half each time I finished the lap. I would get like peeled off my trainers and then you go again. But yeah, that's what definitely got to like my hips and it slowed everyone down so much.
And when
Yeah.
you've already got heavy legs, the least the
Oh,
last thing you need is like a chunk of like
yeah.
clay on the bottom, making them even heavier.
I know one of the guys, he had his shoes weighed at the end and they were 10 pounds heavier. His shoes had an extra 10 pounds on them. Yeah, which is crazy.
God,
Man. And
that's
then
yeah.
I was watching because you did it with another girl. There's another girl called Maddie who did it, isn't
Yes.
there? And you I saw you ran like a few laps with Maddie. But I was watching
Yes.
her vlog about it as well. And she said, and this concept, and I understand the format, you have to be ready to get out onto the next lap. Did you have
Yeah.
to be ready before? Because there was like a box or something you guys had to go in. And on
Yeah.
her vlog, there was a guy that didn't quite get in the box like 5 minutes before or something. And they were
Yeah.
really strict. And then they just said, like, you're out.
Yeah. They're so strict. So you
Yeah, so
get a
what talk
countdown.
to us a bit about that, like the
Yeah, of
format and
course.
like
So once you do, so for example, your first lap, and then it just repeats every lap after that. Everyone goes back to their tents or their gazebos. I had set up in like such a good spot, like we were really close to this, and it's kind of like a pen. I don't know what they actually called it, but it's like a pen you have to be in with it in when they hit like once you go off on the hour again onto the new loop, but you've got to be in that holding pen for like the 3, 2, 1, go. But yeah,
okay.
at the 3 minute mark, they shout over the tannoy, you've got 3 minutes. And then to be fair, it was kind of more like the 2 minute mark. Everyone started getting back into this little holding pen. And you had to be over the like the threshold line of that holding pen once it like counted right down. And if you weren't in that pen, yeah, you considered like a DNF and you couldn't continue. But yeah, they were really strict on that as well. So yeah, you had to be in there. Um, and then yeah, they would say 3, 2, 1, and then on the next hour, so say it was then 1 p.m., you would go off again, and it just repeated like that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, mental. I mean, I remember watching it and the dude just came back and he was like, I'm out. I wasn't in the
Yeah,
pen, I'm out. And I was like,
yeah,
oh my God. And like
yeah,
you've trained for that long and
yeah.
then you just didn't just get in the pen. I was like, oh wow, they're strict.
And and luckily this year it didn't happen, but I know last year you have a bit like high rocks, you have like a tag on your ankle. And a girl last year, she was changing her socks, didn't put her tag back on, and
Oh.
then she couldn't continue.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
And when you're getting
Um,
tired as well, it's not
I
like a high
know.
rocks that just lasts like an hour, 2 hours. It's like
Yeah,
you're getting tired, it's dark, you're changing your kit probably
yeah,
pretty regularly,
yeah.
and you've got to remember these little things and then be on time. And then, oh
Yeah.
man,
There's a
I'd be
lot to
too
think
faffy,
about.
I think.
Yeah.
Can we go like back to the training a little bit? Like, so you said about kind of keeping the mileage a bit lower. After, if anyone's not sure, they can listen back to the podcast where you explain about your injury and accident with your ankle and things.
Yeah.
Did you practice like the format? How did you kind of prepare yourself so you knew that you were as ready as you could be to
Yeah.
go off and hit it?
Of course. So I actually had only done one like simulation in that pattern through the night. So I did it would have been in, was it late February? I did a simulation where I started at 10 p.m. and I ran till 5 a.m. again on the hour every hour, just mimicking a backyard with the sleep deprivation as well. So I obviously stayed up till 10 p.m. and then the following day I stayed awake as well. But out with that, I didn't actually practice that format at all. I did every week do 2 long runs, like so my Saturday, Sunday runs were always 2 long runs back to back. And I did do, so I had one in February and one in March. I did do an ultra both those months. So on both of those, I did roughly 65K on those days, but they were like my peak days. So there was a 6 hour challenge that I did in Falkirk, which was just a really good one to do in competition, just as well being because I had like 4 or 5 hour runs to do. So doing it in competition when I was with people, it was just like a nice difference. And then I did the same similar event in Aviemore the following month as well. So they were, I guess, then 2 sims that were more just like time on feet. So not really sims, but they were just they were long runs. And yeah, but do you know what? It's so simple, as in it is. I think people think there's like some sort of like magic that goes into it, but it's literally just time on feet, consistency, and just managing any niggles. But I was just really lucky that yeah, I didn't get injured or niggled until the actual race afterwards. I felt I had a niggly hip, like the whole training that was that 5 months training went so well. I couldn't have literally hoped for it to go any better. But I think as well because I didn't push the volume, but I'd also just come off Ironman training. So that paid favours, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Did you like at any point when you were maybe doing that like practice in the night or on one of your long runs, did you ever think like, oh God, what have I done? Like I'm gonna go and do this and I've got to keep going for hours and hours and hours.
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I just did that fact the 6 hour one. Is that 6 hours during the night? I was like, well, as soon as it hit the 6 hours, I was like, no, I can't do anymore. But I had given myself that time limit. So I think it's when you know you're about to finish it, that's when you find it hard. So because I knew I was going to finish at 5 in the morning, and I was going out my last loop, at 4 in the morning, so I'd finished just before 5. I think if I had put it to 7, I would have been fine until 7. But it's all in your head. And that's what I say for the backyard ultra style. It's like 80% mental for sure.
And so in your training, when you did that, did you practice pacing? Because like, did you think, oh, I'll try and run faster so I've got more time to faff around, eat, sort my stuff out? Or did you think I'm going to try and run slower and keep the same pace? So I
Okay.
come in at like
So
45 minutes. What
I
was the plan?
I just aimed for 48 minutes, which was purely just based on that's what everyone was saying was like a good time for not going too
Okay.
fast, not going too slow. When I did the sim myself, though, I can't lie, I was doing it in like 42, 44 minutes.
Get it
And
done.
I just knew, I was like, I just know I've got to go slower on the day. But funny enough, our first loop, I ran with Maddie and we did a 44. And the first thing when we both crossed the line, so like her husband, Bailey, and everyone that was with me, they were like, you've got to run slower. They were like, that was far too fast for your first lap. So yeah, we tried to average 48 minutes. But then during the night, there were 2 loops. I chose to run fast laps so I could get an extra few minutes sleep. So I did 2 laps
Oh.
in 44 minutes. And just so, yeah, we got a bit of
And
a break.
how much sleep did that give you?
So, 7 minutes.
7 minutes. Oh my God. And did you feel refreshed after your 7 minutes? Or did
Well,
you feel
I
like,
was.
sometimes you wake up and you feel awful. Like, did you feel
Yeah.
awful or did you feel
Well,
like, oh, that was a good power nap?
it's such a good question because everyone asks me, like, oh, did you not wake up quite like groggy and find it really hard to go again? But I feel I woke up startled because then you've got your like 3 minutes and then you're like, panicking to
Oh
get to the make
God.
sure you don't like if because I would be so annoyed at myself if I maybe just didn't make it into the pen on time
Yeah.
or if it was for a reason like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think waking up and getting to the start line and starting the race was never an issue because probably my heart rate was like 200 because I was so nervous.
Imagine you
Oh,
just like
brilliant.
slept through it. You just
Oh, I know.
that's what you need a good crew, isn't it? You just like lie back on your deck
I
chair for like
know.
7 minutes. You wake up 2 hours later and you've missed.
Yeah, but the during the day, so during the first day, so for the first like 8 hours, it got quite dark early. I'd say probably like 7 o'clock. So for the first 7, 8 hours, like I was just literally having the time of my life, just like chatting to everyone. It was so fun. But one thing I really prioritized is, and as you guys will know as well, well, not just Scotland, but the UK, the heat's not anything we normally have to worry with, especially since November, since I've been training. So straight away, I had like the ice in my bandana around my neck. I had like I think by the second loop, I had like a long sleeved, is it UV protective top on? Anyway, so like apart from my legs, like oh, I was fully covered. And I do generally think being proactive made such a big difference, because by loop 4 and 5, people were like cooked. But I was just, yeah, so I was almost like paranoid about that happening, because I didn't want to be the Scottish one that happened to, that couldn't handle the American, the Texas heat. So I was like, oh, that would be so embarrassing. So the heat actually in the end didn't end up like a problem. But the first night, so 9 hours in, 9 p.m., I remember though 9, 10, and 11, I was so tired. I said when I came across the line to Callum, I was like, I cannot do this. And I was like, I will be happy if we leave now. I genuinely thought that I had nothing left in me. And so I like had a 5 minute nap at like 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And then I was like, I can't do it. And then it's funny what happens, and you just keep going. And then I can't remember who's, but anyway, one of the guys was like, as soon as the sun starts to come up, you're going to feel completely different. And it was so true. Maybe like 6 in the morning, when you could start seeing it open, the light in the sky. Oh, it was such a good feeling. And I can't even describe it. Then all day, I had no problems running during the day at all. And then, yeah, just the nights. And then that night, when I rang the bell and finished, that was 1 in the morning. So, yes. But the fueling's just the biggest part. The fueling and the hydration, which I can't lie, I feel I nailed it, because that was not an issue. I had the classic, which I think anyone doing an endurance event, I got to the stage where it's like, I do not want to eat. I was just so over food, but like I still had it. I wasn't being sick. I wasn't dehydrated. And like, I feel that side of things. I think I nailed it, if I do say so myself.
I love that. I love that. Did you have like options? Like, did someone like prep some stuff for you to like choose
I
from? Or did you have a plan where you were like, I'm gonna have this? Like, were you structured or
kind of slightly odd. It's going to sound rogue though. I was I was structured in my own head. Like I didn't really like have a list. I knew what I needed to do, and because lots of people were saying, "Oh, you won't be like really coherent. You're probably going to hallucinate, not really be with it." Like I felt throughout, I knew what I was doing and not doing. So I think maybe I was just fortunate as well. But Callum, so my boyfriend, he was with me, and he would be there with like stuff in his hands, and I'd be like, oh no, this is what I want. This is what I want. At the beginning, I did try. So this is what I told them I was going to do for the first good few hours. I was going to do 2 hours or more of like gels and like bars and things like that. And then on the third hour, go for more like solids, so like a sandwich or something like that. And I probably did do that for the first 9 hours. And then, yeah, after the 9 hours, it was kind of just put anything in me. But probably the most things I ate, I think my biggest life saviors throughout that, which I actually enjoyed eating, were crisp sandwiches.
Mhm.
And then it was just crisp sandwiches and crisps. Crisps were a very popular one. And then Percy Pigs. And then, yeah, have you ever had the Voom bars? They're, I don't know what you would call them, but they are just like, instead of being like a gel, they're like a bar of basically glucose, but they taste of like icing sugar. So they're so sweet. Oh, and I just think they're delicious. So those were a big hit as well. But yeah, well, it did get to the stage though where I wasn't enjoying any of the food. I was just like, I need to eat. So yeah.
And
Yeah.
did you take, I'm guessing you took Percy pigs with you. Did you take stuff out with you? Because obviously it was in
No.
America. No,
So
doesn't, where'd you get
Percy
them in?
pigs are sold in. We were in Target and I was just picking up random sweets. We seen that there were Percy pigs. We were like, what? But yeah, seemingly it's quite a thing because they've only recently gone out there and they're sold in all Target stores. So yeah, we
Oh,
weren't as
wow.
surprised as you. So obviously we were like, we're buying so many Percy pigs. Yeah, so we
Love
were
that.
delighted with that. Yeah.
And did you have like any American snacks? Like did you see anything and think, oh, try that? Because you went out, how long did you go out beforehand? Was it
I
like
was
two
out
weeks or something?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just under 2 weeks prior, I flew out. Apart from just in like Sour Patch Kids, obviously I then used their sandwiches, their crisps, but I don't think I'm particularly sensitive, like my stomach. I just ate whatever was going. And then, but I say I ate whatever was going, it was still familiar, like,
Yeah.
but to me, like ready salted crisps are ready salted crisps sort of thing. And like BPN, as it was a BPN event, they had basically a tuck shop where you could get used all their electrolytes, their carb drinks. They had, oh, they're very American things. I can't remember what they're called, but they're peanut butter and jelly little sandwich things. And they had lots of things like that as well that you could use from their tuck shop. You could use whatever you wanted for that. So the ice cold drinks were so nice and refreshing. Like it was so nice having that. But yeah,
That's all. And then what about like, I mean, you said you found it tough at like 9 p.m., 10 p.m. the first night, like,
yeah.
and then the day was good as you were going into the night again. Did you have any like tricks of, were you allowed to like listen to music or like podcasts or what? I didn't know what the rules
Yeah.
are around that sort of thing.
So yeah, you're allowed anything. I deliberately held off my music. I said I'm not going to have my music until nighttime. But I think most people were in the same rhythm of that. Like they would chat, we would chat quite a lot during the day, but at nighttime, most people just plugged in music. And then, oh my goodness, what was your question again? So
No,
sorry.
no, no. Just if you had any like, I guess
I'll
anything
keep it
to
going.
keep
Yeah.
you
So
going,
then
like
So
secrets.
caffeine is why caffeine, I really wanted to wait until about the 18-hour mark to start consuming caffeine. But I think I started at like hour 12. So through the night, I started taking caffeine and then I came off of it during the day. I just wanted something to like make it different. And even if it was like, yeah, like in the mind, but taking a caffeine shot at nighttime, then it would give me that buzz, even if like I'm not even caffeine sensitive. So I think, yeah, it's all mental games, isn't it? So I was like, oh, if I save the treats, quote unquote, for the evening and nighttime when I was finding it hard, then that will get me through. But yeah, the night time, like I'm the sort of person who's fast asleep by like 9 p.m. every night. So the fact that I was running in the dark was like, oh, it was a new experience. But yeah, they were definitely the hardest parts running through the night. And I always remember Kim saying, so Kim won it last year and did he come third this year? I think it was third. Now he said that with every high comes a low, but with every low comes a high. But I think I'm quite like in the middle anyway. I don't get like I wasn't like super high or like super, super low. I did never get to the super low stage. I was always just kind of fumbling along, which I think is probably a good thing. Um, but yeah, because some people were very like I guess emotional, whether it was with elation or I guess devastation, but I'm just quite in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that emotional roller coaster kind of takes it out of you as well. If you can just try and stay like
Yeah,
level, you can kind of just
yeah,
get through it because it's kind of one of those you just get your mind into it and go. But how, so for this race, like obviously you've got you're very like clued up in nutrition and I know you're clued up in training and you obviously can plan, but you can't
yeah,
fully plan because you don't really know how long you're going to go for. So like
yeah.
could you buy more supplies and food? Did you think, oh, I'll get myself sorted for a couple of days? What did you think? Well, I'm still going in 5 days' time. Like, what am I
Yeah.
gonna do? Like, how do
So
you plan for that?
we did take like so much stuff. It was like, I'm like, we had a full blown like little supermarket in our gazebo. So I would say I had enough food for 2 days solid, but there was a supermarket like 5, 10 minutes away that
Okay.
some people only had enough stuff for a few hours. So then they would head away to it. So there was that as an option.
I bet
But
that
what
supermarket was making a killing, wasn't
Oh,
it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's like out in the sticks, so it would have been a
Yeah.
fortune. But then, like one of the girls that I met, because it was only Callum and I. So the thing with the BPN events is they don't like it's not a spectator event. You're only basically allowed to go, if either you're part of like a support crew. So I'd be allowed 3 people with me, but if you've got say camera, a lot of people had media teams with them, that would have to include their media team. So I just had Callum, but yeah, a few people, they would alternate their support crew so someone could get some sleep while the other one was supporting. But we just had a good rhythm of I would go out running, say for 45 minutes, well, 50 minutes, but Callum went to sleep for 45 minutes, set his alarm, and then we would just switch. I would try and rest for 5, 10 minutes and then go again and he would go back to sleep. But yeah, but one of the loops I came in, he was still fast asleep on the blow up mattress. So I just left him. It was like 3 in the morning and I was like, I'll just let him sleep. I was like fending for myself.
Oh my God. When did you wake? Did you wake up before you went to the next lap, or did you go
He
back
did
out and
event he did eventually, but not because I woke him, but probably just because I was like rummaging through all the
was he
fridge.
like, oh shit?
I, I think he was more like confused by everything,
Oh,
but
bless him. Because it's just as tough, isn't it, for
oh
people supporting you? Like,
yeah. But the whole like environment and the people and everything are so lovely. And I would say, well, I'm definitely like my background's not ultra running, so this is like all a new side of things to me. But yeah, when I say people are generally the nicest people ever, and my Garmin stopped working, and I was like, oh, it's just dead, but then it wouldn't charge. Oh, so devastating. But the guy that I was with, when I realized my Garmin wasn't working, he mentioned to one of his support crew, but his like support crew, I'm the poor boy, I might offend him. I reckon he might have been like 15. And he came up to me and he was like, you have to wear my watch. So I was like, no, I can't wear your watch. He's like, you have to. So he gave me his Garmin to then keep running in for the rest of it. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's so
oh,
nice.
so sweet, isn't it? And I was like, oh, but yeah, people are so lovely.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you want to record your run. I'm like,
Oh
you,
no.
you're doing the longest run ever. You want to track it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So yeah, he then gave me his watch, and then like when you would struggle a wee bit through the night and things like that, and that's actually how I ended up running as long as I did, because um, an hour 34, so that must have been maybe 10 p.m. at night. I was really struggling in the mud, just because it was how much energy you had to put in, like just lifting your feet up and things like that. It was taking probably about each loop was probably taking like 6 minutes longer, but you were putting in like 70% more effort, and people were falling all over the place. Like even like keeping like standing was like a mission in itself. So the whole thing, it was not enjoyable, that side of things. But then that's just when I just felt everything was more fatiguing. I had a slight niggle in my hip, which is definitely not what stopped me running, but the mud also didn't help it. So then like yeah, those few laps were so hard. And then one of the guys, he was like, you've got to get to the 150 miles. He was like, that's such a huge achievement. So 150 miles was midnight, so that would have been 36 hours of running. So yeah, 36 hours of running is 150 miles. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I can't. So I went in on 35 hours and even said to Callum, I was like, I'm just doing one more. I'm getting to 150 miles. And at that stage, there was only one other girl that was running. And so we went out on our 150th mile loop, so lap 36. And then as soon as basically she came in, she rang the bell. Even though, like, in my head, I thought that's what I was going to do. But then, obviously, because she did it, all I had to do was one more loop after that. So that's when people were like already being like congratulating me, whatever. And I said, well, I haven't done it yet. So then I went and did that one extra loop, which took me to 37 hours and 155 miles, but or just under. But I think because people were like congratulating me, they're like, you can ring the bell now. But technically, I didn't have to ring the bell. I could keep going. But at the same time, I generally was like exhausted and feel there's nothing in me. But I still had about 8 minutes to spare, even on my slowest loop. So technically, I still had so much time. So that's why, in hindsight, I'm like, oh, I had so much left in me. I was like, why did I stop? But yeah. But you know, it was like so.
Yeah, no, it must be so hard to like, I mean, after that length of time and like you say, when it's dark, getting tougher with the mud, and then
Yeah,
you almost like, I guess you've achieved such a huge goal. You've run
yeah,
over 150 miles. You're the last female like
yeah.
standing to then like carry on. Did you think that you would, maybe you didn't know, but in the race, did you think you would ring the bell to stop, or did you think you'd get timed out, or did you not have an idea and you?
Yeah, that's actually such a great question. I never once wanted, I always said I was never going to stop in the chair. I am actually surprised I rang the bell instead of being timed out, because in my head, I was always thinking, if I have time to go back out, well, why wouldn't I go back out? So the fact that, yeah, I still had plenty of time, I'm like, oh, damn it. But it was my first backyard ultra, and 37 hours. I would say it's kind of respectable, but I'm like, oh, I should have gone further.
I mean,
I,
it's like, yeah, it's you're always gonna think you can do more when you've
Oh,
stopped. Like
yeah,
with anything, you start to do that. Now you're not tired, you're not
yeah,
hungry, you're probably not
100%.
hallucinating.
Yeah,
Then you look back on it and you think, oh, maybe I could have. But
yeah.
how many people were left in? Like how many other guys? Like how many of you were left in when you stopped? Were you in the
So,
last
so
10,
I
15,
finished
or
ninth overall.
ninth? Yeah, so top
wow.
10 overall
Yeah,
and last female.
yeah. So I was buzzing by that, and
And how many
I
started for people? Was it
oh,
125 or
I,
175?
so I think it was nearer. I think roughly 175 got places, but I cannot believe about 25 people didn't turn up. So about
No way.
150 of us raced. 30 were female, the rest were male.
Okay.
But wow, that's amazing. Top 10.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I hear, and it's funny because that's one of the things I was like, I'm more competitive against the guys than the
Mm,
girls. Like I probably equally am the girls, but I'm like, oh, each guy that like chips off, I'm like chuffed.
yeah.
how and then what did the guy that won?
Yeah.
He was an older guy, wasn't he? But he was quite an experienced trail runner,
Okay,
was
so
he?
there were actually a couple. So um oh my goodness. Harvey Lewis, he was a slightly older guy who's very experienced. He's got some world
Yeah,
records.
I
He
think he's the one
actually
I saw.
Yeah, he technically actually finished like joint third with Kim, even though they're still
Oh,
considered DNFs.
okay.
The winner was actually Mark, who he's like quite known, but because everyone's like American, he's
Yeah, they all
known
know.
in America. But I didn't know who he was until obviously I was then racing out there, and he's done quite a few. I think as it stands, he's unbeaten in every backyard ultra he's ran
No
actually.
way. And
So
how long what when did he stop? How long
mm,
did he go?
maybe 70.
70 hours. So
I
that's
think
what's
it was 70, roughly that.
like almost like 3 days pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So no, it's like amazing what they continued on to do. So that one day, but now I feel like I'm hooked, and I might stick to the ultra
That's
side
what we
of
were gonna
things.
ask. Yeah, we are
Yeah,
gonna be
what's
like,
the
oh, what's the plan then? Yeah, it's not a one and done. I've ticked the box, never again.
I know. So well, when I finished, and so when I finished, it was 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, can't remember. Anyway, we got home, so we were staying an hour away, and I literally had to get like carried into the apartment the next day. Well, also that night, even though I was only going to go to bed for a few hours, but could not sleep. The combination of like the pain, the adrenaline, because I'd been consuming so much caffeine, the pain, the adrenaline, and just the pure excitement. Could not sleep, but the next day could barely move. And I was like, I'm literally never running again. I was like, this is the worst experience of my life. Oh, and I honestly, I was never going to run again. But yeah, now time's passed. As I've said, I'm like, I can't wait. Before the event, I had in my head I was coming back to High Rocks. And I was like, oh, that's like me concentrating on running. That's done. I've done my Ironman. I really want to get back to High Rocks. I want to get back to that like really competitively. But now this is kind of, I don't even know, because I wouldn't say I'm natural talent because there's a lot of people that are better than me. But like it's kind of, I've only really been training for it for like 5 months specifically. So I'm like, maybe this is my calling.
Yeah.
like what can you do if like you've done that in 5 months? Like
Yeah.
where
And
can you
that
So
was
get
your
to?
first one. Like,
yeah. And then even so the guy that won it, Mark, for his first ever backyard ultra, I think he did 30 hours and now he's going on to win like everyone he does. So yeah, like I've learned so much from it that I'm like, just from that alone, I'm like, yeah, I think I might stick to it. But obviously it takes it out of you so much. Compared to like if I just obviously High Rocks is tough on your body, but as you say, it's like an
It's
hour event, an hour and a half event for people, and then yeah, it does
not
take
all
out.
the sleep deprivation and the days of like
Yeah,
the next day like I've done a few like longer runs but not a backyard ultra or
yeah.
150 miles, but my feet swelled after the longest run I ever did. I just like literally couldn't even put any shoes on. Did your feet all swell
Well,
up?
that's actually a great point. I don't think they did because the biggest concern I had was for my feet. And well, especially the foot with all the metalwork and the injuries that I had had. And that's what I think the irony in it all is. That was not an issue once, not even
I was going
after
to
the
ask.
race. And I cannot believe it because it was all purely trial and error. Didn't have a clue how it would hold up. But the one thing, maybe quite rank, so my toes, like because of the metalwork that's been in there, there's still a little bit in there. Like my toes point in every direction to the sun, apart from where they're meant to go. So I wore those socks, like the little ugly toe socks,
Yeah.
because they like cross over. I did not take my shoes or socks off because I didn't want to like budge them until I felt that there might have been a blister or there might have been rubbing. So I think I left the same pair of trainers and socks on for about 20 hours. So I was like, I'm
Really?
not until I can feel anything because I don't want to like move anything around. So yeah, I think it was 20 hours.
Didn't it, and wasn't there like a massive puddle like you had to run through before were your feet not absolutely
Uh,
soaking or did you skirt it?
So that was like more laterally. So by the time, yeah, it was like after like the third, maybe the 28-hour mark.
Oh, okay.
That's when there was like the big puddle we ran through at the end and things like that. And then I did rotate my shoes a bit more, but then it was very much like, well, they're wet now, nothing's going to change.
And
Yeah.
what were your feet like then after that?
So I had blisters, but still, I can't believe how okay they were. The blister, I've actually lost one toenail yesterday.
That's not
RIP.
bad, to be fair.
No,
That's
I
really not
know.
bad.
So lost one toenail. I had lots of blisters, but I didn't even know. And I say lots, there actually weren't lots. There were just two giant ones on my feet, and they've cleared up. On the whole, I have recovered really well. I did have, as I mentioned, my niggly hip, and I had that for probably like 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks. But obviously, I was so convinced. But I think this is because I don't know if you guys think the same. Is I feel there are a lot of people with stress fractures at the moment, and there's a lot of people on social media with stress fractures. And I just got undone that. I was like, I've got a stress fracture to my hip, or there's something. I was convinced I had a stress fracture. I 100% don't. I just really tightened my glutes and it really affected my hips. But I was like,
You just ran 150 miles, like maybe
yeah,
that was something to do, you know?
and everyone's like, if that's all you've got is a niggly hip, they were like, you've
Yeah.
done really well. this week's my first week. So I had 3 easy weeks. To be fair, last week I was in London, so very chilled. And then this week I just got back to training this week. Obviously my running volume's still down a bit, but I am so busy. But I don't know if it's like correlated. This week I've been on such a high. I'm back training, which I just naturally love, but also I've fully caught up on all my sleep. I'm actually surprised at how much that affected me. The sleep deprivation from the running, and then not being able to sleep because of the caffeine or the pain. And then I had a night flight to travel home, which then I didn't sleep once on the flight. And then it was funny because we arrived home on the Thursday night. Then Callum was at a stag weekend on the Friday. So I had to drop him off at the airport at 5 in the morning. So for like a week solid, I'm like, I didn't get any sleep. So now I've caught up on my sleep. I'm like, yeah, feels good.
Oh my God.
Like, I
That's
mean, yeah,
poor
no,
Callum. How did he
I,
survive his
I
stag?
cannot believe he did that. And then because the stag do was 4 days. Um,
Brutal.
I
He did his
know.
own ultra.
Yeah, he did. And yeah, well, he survived to tell the tale. But yeah, because during the ultra, but this is just like my personality type. I would be like to him, have you eaten enough? Are you okay? Have you put your sunscreen on? Be like, oh. And then he's like, I don't think it's me you need to worry about, Bryony. But
Oh, that's so sweet. I have two questions, but I'll maybe go down this one first. Did you have any like, I guess, hero kind of products or things that you used? Like you obviously mentioned you wore the UV kind of long sleeve top. Was there anything, whether it was like a cream or a balm or a clothing item that you were like, if I was ever gonna do another one, like this
okay,
would be my savior?
yeah, a couple, and I guess some random, some not necessarily products. But let's start with, can I start actually with the thing I should have had because
Yeah.
it haunts me to the day? I didn't have SPF lip balm. So, and I didn't really realize my lips were burnt until like when I had finished on the following day. My lips were so sore, but I put sunscreen all over my face, but the lip balm I was using wasn't SPF. So that's one thing I should have had. Other key things to have, yeah, the UV long sleeve tops. I use the brand specifically called Rapid, and oh, I thought they were so good because they were really comfy, really light. Because normally I get quite claustrophobic. Anyway, big fan of those tops. Having a bandana, so then you can, because I think as well, a lot of people get their backs of their necks burnt. I know this is really heat specific, but then you can use that bandana to put ice in. I feel that was game changing. For me, the toe socks, and then also I use it's just a really common chafe balm for the inside of my legs. Now, on the whole, I don't chafe, but then when it started raining, that's when I chafed really badly. So definitely that, and even like little things nutrition wise that then I was like, oh, this was so good. Definitely was in some of the more of actually the fluids. So the chocolate milk was such a nice change, like having it super cold. And when I had that, I was like, oh, this is so good. So I think it's really important just to find things that you generally really like and you can kind of keep them as like a treat. Because I was like, I'm not having my Cocoa Pops with my chocolate milk until I gave myself 7 a.m. So that would have been, I don't even know how many hours in, but like 19 hours in. I was like, I'm going to wait till 7 a.m. So for like the 3 hours prior, I was like, I can't wait till 7. And then I can have my Cocoa Pops and chocolate milk. So doing those like little things. And then every like 6 hours, I would save myself. I had like little Snickers. I was like, that's when I'll have my chocolate because I love chocolate. So I think doing little things like that. So it's kind of a combination of products, but also like hacks for your brain.
Yeah, that's so good. I love that. Cocoa Pops and chocolate milk, winner, winner.
Oh,
And what trainers did you wear? Just out of interest.
okay, so I wore Salomon, is it Ultra Glide 4s?
Okay.
And I've actually never had a pair of Salomons before. So I wore these for the first time at the Aviemore. So that was like a 65, and it was like a 65 kilometer, and it was like a really hilly run. Wore them for that. And yeah, that's the ones I primarily wore. And then I also had a pair of Nike Trail something. I'm not 100% sure, but they're just called Nike Trail and they're in baby blue. But both of those, I thought they were great for the terrain and like, yeah. And then do you know what, for two loops, I don't really know why I did. I put on my carbon plates because I wanted to go fast so I could get back from my sleep. So I put on my carbons and did a fast lap. But it was so nice than having the extra cushion just for like an hour or two.
Yeah, and maybe just a change, eh? Like
Yeah,
something different.
because I
Like,
thought it might be good to change my stance up a bit as well and just the way I was landing. So whether it works or not, I don't know, but I feel it did.
yeah, you got an extra 2 minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
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 What was your average pace across like what is your average pace to coming up 48 minutes? Like pretty much.
Oh,
What would
do you know,
that
that's a
be?
good question. I think it was like 650 maybe.
650, yeah, fair.
So you actually do quite a lot of walking, which I think surprises people. Like in all the gradients, like so whenever there's like a slight uphill,
Yeah.
you would always walk uphill. And even initially, um, like you would then walk the downhill, so it's like less, like obviously not whatever pressure, but it's not pressure I'm thinking of, but on you on the
Impact.
downhill, less
Yeah.
impact. That's exactly it. So there's less impact. So quite often, you'd walk up and down the hills and just run the flats.
And
Yeah.
did your quads blow? Because like doing longer races when you go down, like sometimes your quads
No,
just go on the
no,
downs.
I really can't believe at how okay I was. Um, Apart from me, as I said, the hip, there was literally nothing else.
Mate, I
So
think maybe you are made for it. Like we need to go and
yeah,
see
I
you.
don't know.
I think you need to go for another day, and then we'll have another chat
Yeah,
and see what
I
you think
know.
about
This is what I say. So
it.
I
I
am,
want more ailments and more injuries. I want more stories. I
no,
want
I
bigger
know.
blisters and toes falling
Look,
off.
it's funny because I was told I need to like what would be good for me is to like tell my story more and like portray my emotions and whatever, whatever. But I'm like I just cracked on. There was not really any injuries or issues, and if there was, still I don't make a big thing about it. So I
Yeah.
need to be more dramatic. So yeah.
There's
No,
probably
I love it.
The Scottish in you
Oh,
versus an American. No
yeah,
offense to the Americans, but like
yeah,
Scots are a bit more like. I mean, you've been training in Inverness, haven't you? Like
yeah,
North Scotland,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
kind of do just crack on with it if
yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
do ultra training over the winter.
Yeah, because that's what obviously not funny, but when people were being like, "Oh, I've got heat stroke," and I'm like, "Use train in this." Like I've been training in like minus degrees for months on end.
Oh my God, it's so good. And then what about like you kind of mentioned like after you obviously were like very sleep deprived, aching, like what about your stomach or like food? Like were you hungry or were you like the total opposite and not hungry because you just plowed yourself with
Yeah,
everything?
I was not hungry at all, but what, as we all know the importance of eating afterwards, what I craved was like freshness, like salads. And then, do you know what's actually really weird? We went out for breakfast, but that wasn't on the Monday. So I finished racing the Sunday. So I don't even know. Oh, on the Monday, went for like a whole food salad, like lots of fruit, trying to get like the protein and things like that. But this is like really rogue. We went out for breakfast on the Tuesday morning and I had bone broth and it was like filled with vegetables and things like that. I was like, I just want health. I just want nutrients and things like that. And I was like, yeah, bone broth. I was like, it's quite a weird thing to have on a breakfast menu, but honestly, it was so good.
Yeah, you
Probably
probably
so good for your
Yeah,
body as well.
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought. So I'd like, I don't even know how many, but I had every ad in. So and this is such a random story, but they had like add-ins, and it was like if you want to add in the sugar snap peas, if you want to add in the carrots, I said to them, "Can you add in every single vegetable that you do?" And then I said I'd have the chicken as well. So it was like it was so good.
You just want, yeah, good. Like once
Yeah,
you've just been eating, like
yeah,
for eating's set to keep
because
you going. Yeah.
everyone was like, because Texas is really known for their like barbecue grills and things
Mm.
like that. I was like, it's honestly the last thing that I want. Like I'm quite a simple person. I just like my whole food salads and bone broth, apparently.
That's so good. And then what was it like being, because obviously there's a lot of backyard ultras all over the place.
Yeah,
What was it like being part of the BPM one? Because it was such a big like almost staged last year, and they're very good with their social media. I know you said
Yeah.
about them like describing your story. Did you get any support to like, yeah, tell your social media story? Like, have you done much with them since? Are you thinking of going back and doing another race with them, or like, what's the story there with BPM?
Yeah, okay. So I guess in a way, not too well, when I was there, like amazing and being because I won their last event, like they were like, right, we've all got our eyes on you. And you could kind of tell, especially latterly, they had like quite a lot of crew around me, which is so weird having camera crew around. So like that's been recorded because they've got their big documentary that will come out. How much I'll appear in it, I am not too sure. And now by all means, like since I have been back, I have like been in conversations with them, but like nothing, I guess you'd say like official. There's no like guarantee I will go back, but everyone's like, you'll definitely get invited, Bryony. You can't not. You're like the only one that's like won everything. So that one's like a TBC. I think it's definitely made me realize how much I love ultra running and just running in general. Like, so I do think I'm going to eat my words when I say I want to go back fully into high rocks. I think I'm going to concentrate on this side of things. And like, I should just go and do then high rocks for fun, but I don't want to go. I did wall balls to the day today for the first time in about 6 or 7 months. Like how ridiculous. I used to do like 500 wobbles a week, and now I did 45 wobbles today, and that's the most I've done in like 6 months. It's ridiculous.
It is, but it's just like different things, isn't it? And different
Yeah,
places. And like you said, and I feel like probably the biggest thing is you can't do everything. So,
yeah,
like, rightly so, you're saying, like, what do I want to choose? And if you want to excel at something and not just
yeah,
take part, you do really have to think about what
yeah,
your focus is. And I guess your passion and what's going to drive you.
yeah.
But
That's
do you not want to go back and defend your title? Would you not want
yeah. So
to?
seriously, 100%. And especially if I was to get the support from them. Now, I guess my side of things of flying out there for both events, like it costs a lot. Luckily, I that's my equivalent of my holiday. But I think doing the same again, hopefully you never know, I might get supported by someone or them if I went out again. But yeah, it's like a spending trip to do to go and run around the field.
And collect mud on your trainers.
Right?
Yeah.
So many people be like, "What did you win? You must have won something." And I was like, "Oh, well, I got a horseshoe." And technically, I was considered I did not finish. And
Yeah.
they were like, "You're kidding." And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Is that normal?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of."
It's like a brutal race, isn't it? Because like
Yeah,
unless you're the last man standing,
yeah,
like literally the last person left in the race, everyone else is a DNF.
yeah, yeah.
Like
100.
that's it's like actually like even when you've run as far as you've run,
It is savage.
it's so savage.
So yeah, and it's funny because when I was actually running around, I was listening to a podcast, and it was just a random running podcast. And it was just coincidence that then the guest was asked at the end, what's the one sort of running race you would never do? And he was like, a backyard ultra. And he was like, because it's too, and I was running and I was like, no, this is not the right time to be listening to this.
Pause, 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 change podcast.
I was like, what are the chances?
That's so funny. And I mean, you just kind of mentioned high rocks there, but did you or have you been doing like strength training to support the running and for the training for the backyard
Yeah.
ultra?
So yeah, I still train at the gym like 2 to 3 times a week. It's crazy the difference because I used to be like 5 times, 6 times in the gym, loving strength. But since doing the Ironman and then getting into this training, it's funny how much I've switched. Before I used to love going to the gym to train, and now I'm like, oh, going to do strength training is a chore. So I'm totally turned into a runner. But yeah, I just do a lot more like single leg drills, like a lot more plyo drills as well. But also I still every week do like the main compound lifts, like deadlift, squats, bench, things like that, because I don't want to fully lose it. So I've never fully let it go. Yeah, as I say, always minimum 2 times a week. um, yeah, it's more like the conditioning side of things that I don't do so much. Or like the mini workouts, like little hip workouts, that side of things. Yeah, definitely the conditioning things, but the rest I try and keep keep on top of.
Yeah. And do you still keep your, or maybe like you could kind of explain like after you finished, because I think it's important for people to hear like how you did recover from it. Like, did you swim or did you do anything alternative to running as obviously you'd spent 37
Yeah,
hours on your feet?
of course. And I think as well, it's a great point to bring up. And I think it's almost become something I'm very passionate about after my accident and I was out for so long, is not rushing back into things because you're not going to lose your fitness. So I beat for the first, yeah, so after my race, so for the first 2 weeks, actually 3 weeks, I didn't run because of my niggly hip. And it's hard seeing on social media the people that I was running with, they were out on like day 2 out running, and you can't help, even though I knew I was not in the position to be doing that, and I wasn't recovered. They definitely weren't recovered. But then I was like, oh, should I be out running again already? So I primarily got back to swimming. I was still swimming. So since I've come back, I swim either 2, 3 times a week, and but more just 2. And then I was for the first 3 weeks. Then I was just going to the gym, but I was doing whatever I fancied. Like my like central nervous system was still completely fried. Like everything felt so heavy. Like I couldn't do a push up, and I think definitely for a change, I'd be so hard on myself and I'd probably be crying about it or something ridiculous. But I was like, oh, it's fine. Like my HRV was like down the pan and things like that. I was like, is it so expected? So definitely this time around, I just, for as I say, for 3 weeks, I just did what I fancied, got myself out the house. I did a lot of stretching for my hip and just like walking the dog. I'm so surprised. But one thing I did do, which does help, I took off my Garmin and I took off my Aura ring, because I had it on for like a week after the race. And then when I was seeing, and it's just little things like I was seeing, I was only walking like 2,000 steps a day, and things like that. And my HRV was like in the red. I just took it all off because I was like, what am I getting from this? So it's only just gone back on the last few days. So I do think that does help.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
You get
Yeah.
caught up in it
Yeah.
and you don't realize you get caught up in it, don't
Yeah.
you? Like,
And then a big thing as well is I was focusing on my nutrition, as in the fact that I was kind of making a game out of like different things I could make, as in, because I'm quite a creature of habit. But then this time, after the event, I was like trying to find as many maybe like different, and it was easy doing in America because there was so much we don't get over here, like finding completely different like vegetables or like fun things to put in like the meals and things like that. Just really focusing on getting all the extra, like, I guess, the micronutrients in me. But yeah, just making a bit of a game out of it while I had the extra time.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah,
like,
to allow your body to recover.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's such a good point. Yeah, definitely. So have you got anything booked or no, you're
Okay.
just oh yeah,
So,
what's going
so,
on? What's the
so
plan?
okay, so there are 2 things booked, and I just can't decide which one I want to do because basically they're both huge events. One's in July, one's in August. They're both Scottish Championship qualifiers. One's a Backyard Ultra and one's a 50 miler. So what I've just done is I'm entered into them both, and I've just got to decide what one I want to prioritize.
Which
Because that's the thing,
which
like
one's first?
the Backyard Ultra.
Where is it?
Blair Apple, so close.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And where's the 50 miler?
Oh my god, it's the Highland Fling.
Oh
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
that one. So like lots of fun things have come out of it. And even people in the ultra world who have reached out and be like, oh, do you know about this event? And I'd be like, no, because I generally am so new to this. I don't know anything. So then when I heard now, because I don't know if it's, well, partly it is true. I shouldn't say it's partly true. It is true that I've qualified for the Scottish team for the Backyard Ultras, but for next year because this season's already been. So as the standings currently stand, I should say, yes.
So there's a like this country
Yeah,
teams for
yeah,
for specifically for backyard ultras.
yeah. I know. I actually as well don't
Okay.
really know how that works,
But
yes,
you're in it for
yeah,
now.
I'm in it. I'm in it for now.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So, because I know they have it soon over in Ireland. It's like the championships are over there, but it's the team championships. Yeah, as I say, no idea how it works, but I'm in it.
That's so cool. So will you go and do that?
Yeah, if I still stay in my standing and don't like fall
Yeah.
too far down. Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, I'll do it.
That's cool. So
Yeah.
what right now, and I know you're saying you're not sure which one to do. What's like pulling you? Is it like a 50 miler because you know what it is and you can put a bit of speed in? Or
All
is it
right.
like trying to see if you can go a bit further on that last one?
Yeah, I feel as at the moment the backyard, which is I wish it was the other way around because I'd have done both. But
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
because if
yeah,
you do that
fair.
one,
You
it's
could
gonna
have done.
rinse you for the
yeah,
mm.
and I know it does sound crazy saying the backyard ultra, but I kind of feel that one. Only because I want an overall win. So yeah,
I just want an overall. And
yeah,
it's like closer to home, so would
so
it
close
be
to home.
easier
And
to
if you win it, you because it's and this is all new to me. It's like a silver ticket event. So does it mean you're guaranteed a space at? Is it Big's Backyard Ultra in America, the really famous one in October, and that's like the Backyard Ultra Championships. Ah, yeah. So if you win the one at Blair, you get a space at the
and
one in
he's the
America.
guy is that not affiliated with the Barkley Marathons? I think it is,
I
Is it?
feel it could be.
I think it is. I think like it's
Um.
why do I think that? I don't
So
know. Big's
here,
Backyard Ultra. Let's chat GPT
We
it.
need to, we need
yeah,
to do more research.
yeah. Well,
I
no. Do you know
know.
what's so funny? Because so do I. And now, if I'm wanting to get into this, I was like, oh, I need to do so much like research into it. And yeah,
Yeah,
like
because it's
I'm
like a
very
whole new world. Like there's so much that
100%.
yeah, like going on that you could be involved in or like
Yeah,
different, yeah.
Yeah.
that's
It's
it.
actually crazy. I didn't realize it was so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they were both of them were created by Laz who did the
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
so
Okay.
he created the Barkley Marathons and he's also created Big's Backyard Ultra.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's the original Ultra. Who knew
Yeah.
that?
There you go.
So,
And it's
yeah.
on his property in Tennessee.
Yes. So obviously this is dreamland. I'm like, I will go to Blair, win Blair, and then, but then doing three backyard ultras in 1 year is absolutely ridiculous. But here, while there's
Hey,
no injuries,
there's
I'll
a
keep going.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See what happens. Dream
Yeah.
big, dream
Yeah,
big.
exactly.
That's so cool. And then I wonder if because when he starts the Barkley marathons, he starts it by
I,
lighting a cigarette, doesn't he? And just like
yes.
real like
Old
that would be
So,
school.
so cool. I think it'd be cool to
yeah.
do. I mean, I'd rather do that than the Barkley marathons, which just looks horrific.
100%. So random. Someone was like, "Oh, I should do that one." I was like, first of all, I don't think it's that easy, but to get into, I would be terrible because navigation is
Yeah,
not.
that's the thing in it, isn't it? It's almost not the running; it's the
Yeah,
fact it's navigating. They make it hard to navigate.
yeah,
The
I
terrain is mental.
yeah. So based on that alone, I would be. I already know I'd be horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds cool. Though I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
I've learned so much about backyard
Oh my
ultras.
goodness. Yeah, me too.
I know, that's so cool. So you're getting back into training just
Yeah.
now, which is awesome. And then I was going to kind of round off. We've asked you our like
Can I
kind
ask
of
one question
yeah, go for it.
before you round off?
Yeah,
Oh,
go on.
can Bryony, this could be like a touchy subject or not, but when people say everything happens for a reason, and I know
Yeah.
what you went through was horrific because
Yeah.
somebody knocked you
Yeah.
over in the road and you had horrendous injuries. You probably had the worst year of your life. But
Yeah.
now, sitting where you are now, and it's
Yeah.
the fact it's like changed the path of your life,
Yeah.
maybe from where you thought you were going. Do you think like, oh, everything happens for a reason, or do you
So
know what I mean?
long
Or
story short, 1000%. Because I'm like, if that didn't happen, I would have continued to pursuing high rocks. And then I would never have done my Ironman. I would never have done what I'm doing now. And obviously the standard of high rocks now, like it's absolutely insane. So I do think, and I think it's a great question because I do think um I can't say I'm glad it happened, but I'm
no.
glad this is the path that's taken me down. So basically, I'm glad, yeah, it happened. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
just think like things like that are mental, aren't they? You're like,
Yeah,
God, if that hadn't have happened, where would I be? And like it's
yeah,
kind of like a sliding doors moment where
completely.
like I know it's horrendous and it's like awful things happen,
Yeah,
but something really amazing's come out of
yeah.
something so devastating for
And
you.
the last two, yeah, like my last two experiences out in Texas, oh, like I would never change for the world. So yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
Oh, that's
you deserve it and you've worked for it. It's not
Oh,
like
yeah.
it didn't just fall in your lap, you know. You're
you
an
guys are
incredible
sweet.
athlete anyway. You're an incredible high rocks athlete, and you're
Thank
again an
you.
incredible backyard ultra athlete,
Woo!
aren't
I know. I know. Well, I mean, I was just gonna ask like we've said before, what would you say to your younger self or the next generation of girls coming up? But like, what about, I guess, the mental side of things, like going through a backyard ultra and keeping going for that long? Like, is there anything that you would say to anyone who's wanting to take on a challenge, or something that they're maybe a bit worried about or don't know what the outcome's gonna be and how to like mentally get through it?
Yeah. I think a big part of it is, and I think some people think when we achieve these things, we don't find it hard. Like we go into this, I think maybe that's can be sometimes like what makes people different people like react or respond differently to like hardship, I guess. I go into things knowing it's going to be hard and expecting it to be hard and like knowing it's not going to be easy, but we don't also do it because it's easy at the same time. So I always like to say to people, it's like, it's probably a bit bleak maybe. I'm like, go in knowing it's hard, because well, it is at the end of the day. So everyone's like, oh, what's your mindset? I'm like, I go in knowing it's hard, and I know that once it's finished, the pain will be gone. Like once you're done, you're done. So it's not as if obviously, if something drastic happened, the pain might last a few more days. But as soon as I stopped running, I was literally fine. So, yeah,
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And people from the outside maybe do look and think like you don't, I don't know, you just get
yeah,
through it and you don't have those hard bits
yeah,
or the low moments or you
yeah,
have to pick yourself up, but
yeah.
like everyone does.
Yeah, but we do. And I guess the only other one thing is, which I wouldn't recommend, is what's definitely made me stronger is getting ran over. So if everyone got ran over, had to be out of work for 8 months, had to get pushed around in a wheelchair, then you realize there's so much worse things going on. So point three, I wouldn't recommend. Do
So like go launch yourself in front of a car and
it.
everything will be easier.
Do it.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah, since the accident, I think I've had like such a big mind shift. Because I also think nothing's that deep. Like
Mm.
for my high rocks is, and this is so bad because I clearly can't count. I ran three high rocks where either I ran a lap too little or a lap too much. And after each one of those, I like held my eyes out. I gave myself such a hard time, like how I'm such an idiot, things like that. But now I'm like, it's actually not that deep. So sometimes things go wrong or whatever, or you're like struggling and it's like, oh, it's not deep whatsoever.
Yeah.
Mm. And
Yeah,
an
no,
ultra's
totally.
only a backyard ultra's just one lap, so
Yeah.
Just
you're
on
fine there.
repeat.
If you're doing two, you're doing something wrong. So at least you know you just got one lap to
I
complete
know,
and you're fine.
honestly, that on the trauma from High Rocks Labs.
Oh God. I mean, I feel like we could talk for hours about it and ask you so many questions. Is there anything that you wanted to share or any like message that you wanted to get across that we haven't covered, or that we've missed?
Yeah, I don't think so, but I at the same time, I do think if you're fancying trying something out, like you don't just have to stay like as I say, I was solely high rocks, and then I felt like I had to stick to that route. But if you want to try something else, just go for it because now I've done it. I'm like, oh, I think this is almost better, and I'm even more passionate about it. So yeah, just go and have fun and try something new.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I love
love
that.
that.
And you can tell how passionate you are about it. Like it's so nice hearing you talk about it.
Oh, it's
Like,
I know, and it's probably like so cringy, but I am absolutely loving it. But I think as well, being new in something and like learning because people
mm,
are telling me stuff and they're like, oh, probably, sorry, we should be like treating you as if like you're dumb and you don't know this, but and I'm like, no, genuinely I don't know that, so
Yeah.
I do not mind, treat me like I know nothing, because I do not know anything about the ultra world. So yeah.
Oh no, it's been awesome to hear about it. Thank you so much. For anyone that doesn't already follow you, can they find you on social media and you share your like running journey?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Coach Bryony, and then also I will do a cheeky little plug here that next month, I will be opening up my doors to Fueled Lab, which is my sports nutrition education, coaching, and community platform. So if anyone wants any nutrition advice or just to have a look, you can find it there.
Yes, that
That's
is
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, so cool. Well, thank you so much, and a huge good luck to whichever race you end up doing next. We'll be keeping our eye out and can't wait to see how you go.
Thank you, girls. Bye.